Welcome to Swish and Flick, an all Potter podcast.
Swish and flick. Everyone? Swish and flick.
Hello and welcome to episode 80 of Swish and Flick. I'm Tiffany.
I'm Megan.
I'm Katie.
And they keep telling me I'm Sarah.
And this episode is sponsored by Ebony Kitson. Thank you, Ebony.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I also really like her name. It's just really cool.
Because it reminds her of kitties.
I am thinking like, oh, her name sounds so familiar. It's because we sent something to her because she won.
Oh,
She
that'll
won
do.
something.
I'll do it.
A giveaway.
That'll do, donkey. That'll do.
That'll do. Today we will be discussing chapter 10 of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Mayhem at the Ministry.
I put Goff in. You're welcome.
Yep, Goff. So make sure you've read the chapter and you're ready to backstroke in the pool of details.
I like butterfly stroke.
Okay, well, that can be next episode.
Okay.
All right, Megan, weekly profit news.
So, this is for all of our UK swishers. If you live in East London, please be on the lookout for Matthew Lewis's wallet.
Honest to goodness.
He loses everything.
He lost
think
his
it was
backpack.
lost or
it
was
was
it
a backpack.
swiped?
He left his backpack behind a couple months ago.
Okay, he needs to get...
And again, reached out saying there was something in there from his like fiance or wife or whatever
like
that
a
he
metal
wanted.
note thing.
That's this. There's apparently a little metal note in his wallet that his wife had stamped or engraved for him. And that's all he wants back. He said, you can keep all the money in there. I don't care. Just send me that little note on the address on my driver's license.
Just think, his wife's probably like, dude, come on. Are you serious? Like, again?
She has a really awesome Instagram.
That's a serious
Just
Neville
saying.
move, though.
I was just gonna say.
Honestly, get serious.
So East Londoners, be on the lookout for his wallet.
Yeah.
And, be a good human and just send him the whole thing and not just the note.
Write down those
Hand-
credit card numbers. No, I'm just kidding.
Hand deliver it, and then you can meet him.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, right.
True. Be like, listen, get your wallet.
It
at the
says
coffee
here, though,
shop.
that his wallet was stolen, but he did leave his backpack behind. He, left it.
Where
on-
is this at?
He left his backpack on one of the trains coming from the airport into London. He left his backpack.
Take it public transportation.
I don't know. Saving money. Maybe he just wants to make it last as long as possible,
Also, I think paparazzi and stuff are different over there, so maybe
Are
people
they?
are just
Well, I guess
They
I'm just
are.
thinking of how it
Yeah.
is here because nobody has any kind of privacy.
yeah, no,
yeah,
no.
it's different.
Every time I walk out of my house, someone's trying to take my pictures. Oh, I am a Vila after all. All right. Is that all?
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Also,
That's no, it's not all.
quickly though, I did want to do a different weekly profit because Warner Brothers Studio Tour keeps dropping these hints about something that they're releasing.
There's so much news though, and then there's plus the like got tweeted about.
Yeah.
Do you want to throw all that out, or are you gonna save those?
I feel bad because I don't want the news to be late for people, but
When does this come out? Even though
next week.
No, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So a while. Okay, well, I'll give it to you now because it's already going to be late. So we've got
All
the
right.
20th anniversary editions of Prisoner of Azkaban are being released this summer. Do we have a month?
June 13th, I believe.
Okay.
Ooh, maybe Alana will get a copy for her mother for her birthday.
Oh my God. It is also Swish and Flick's birthday.
Yeah,
True.
who are they though?
I don't know.
Okay.
And then also, like I said before, the Warner Brothers Studio Tour keeps dropping hints about something that they're opening. It's going to be a new exhibit, I think. And there's clues right now. So far, the clues have been Key, April, and Enter.
I mean, I think Tiffany and I are in agreement saying that April is the best month.
It is the key to everything.
Yeah.
People are guessing maybe Gringotts is coming to the studio tour. Maybe they're going to rebuild the Gringotts.
That would be amazing.
It would be cool.
That'd be cool.
I need to spend more time in there. I feel like I rushed through everything at Universal.
We did. You need to
We
go
did.
back.
And then Katie illegally brought her wand.
And they got caught.
The last time I went,
Like
the
a
ride got
Hufflepuff
shut down for maybe, I don't know, 30 minutes at the most, but people were getting mad. So they were leaving and I was like, bye, sucks real. As I'm watching hordes of people leave. And I'm
Why
like,
would you leave?
And then because they thought, I don't know, I think they thought it was going to take forever.
Some people don't know how to
Be patient.
theme park. You
It's
know what I
different.
mean?
It's different though than the first time we went because they take you in and then you get your picture taken and then you continue on in the line.
Yeah. I need to go to another private party though. Like I need there to not be a bunch of people.
They do those many times of year through Orlando Informer. We can look into the next date. Well, some dates in the future. And
Yes.
see.
Yes. Glad we're planning with you all this
Yeah.
evening.
Yep.
Or whenever you're listening.
Also, okay, Lexi in the Discord chat just said people on Instagram were so mad about Peter being on the Slytherin cover. What is
Yes.
that about? Peter Pettigrew?
Yes.
Yes, they have his animagus horn on the Slytherin cover because Bloomsbury, whatever. Words are struggling.
Bloomsbury.
Because he is Voldemort's follower, they have him on the Slytherin cover.
I don't understand that.
I call BS.
That's what they commented back. There's nobody's Patronus on the Ravenclaws one. They have Professor Trelawney and some other things on there.
Harry's on mine, obviously.
Well, that is dumb.
Like Remus's Patronus, I don't think is on any of them.
What?
Because Sirius is on every cover. And then obviously because he is the prisoner of Azkaban, if y'all don't know that by now. And then James's Patronus is on the Gryffindor one. And then there's a couple other things like Hagrid's on that one, which it makes me kind of want to buy that one just because Hagrid's on the cover. And so is Harry casting the Patronus charm. Mm-hmm. I don't remember what's on the Hufflepuff one. I know Cedric's on it. And
I'm pulling them up right now.
Night Bus, I believe. It's either on the Ravenclaw or the Hufflepuff one. I think.
Dementors.
Yeah, Dementor, I believe, is on the Slytherin one.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a video.
Yeah.
Yep. Then why can't they just post highly detailed pictures? Thanks.
They will. They did that last time. But like it was on like the Harry Potter, it was on Pottermore, it was on Bloomsburg or whatever. And something else, like Harry Potter film. Like there's a bunch of them. I'm like, I've seen this like 5 times today. Which is still cool.
Yeah, I only watched Gryffindors.
I skipped ahead to look at the Ravenclaw ones.
Alrighty, Rue. Shall we proceed?
Sure.
Recap!
That was different.
Ruh.
Thank you.
Recap.
You should do every 10, you should do different.
Really?
Yeah, why
I'm
not?
not that creative, though.
Every 10. Is that what you said?
Yeah, because we're on the 80th episode.
like
So
that.
now you do that for the next 10
recap,
episodes.
and then
I'm gonna remember. Who's gonna remind me?
Just be like a Bill Burr. Do something different every time.
Recap!
All right.
She's a lady.
All right. So last time the match was over. Quidditch World Cup, so I'm talking about in case you forgot. And the crew head back to the tent, and they're woken up in the middle of the night to some chaos going on. There's people in masks. There's muggles being tortured. We have our first exposure to Death Eaters. Things are getting a little dark. The trio gets separated, big surprise, from the rest, and end up in the woods where someone casts the dark mark into the sky. They're almost stupefied to death, pretty much, and it's discovered that Mr. Crouch's house elf cast the mark. Or did she?
Ooh. We don't know.
So let me just tell you this one thing. So I like to
Okay.
read along when people are reading usually. And I'm like, that's not what this is saying because I was looking at my summary and not your thing. Because I'm like, wait, I missed something.
Yellow.
Yellow. Let's go into blue. So everyone is ready to leave the site of the World Cup and get home. Molly is relieved and a little contrite when they get there.
Contrite, huh?
Yeah, big words. You're welcome. I almost choked on it. Arthur is in warm water at work because of Rita Skeeter, and the next week has Percy and Arthur very busy at work while Rita is beetling around to find gossip.
Oh.
The kids all get ready to head back to school, and they must dress for success, although Ron is not happy about his.
Oh, Ron.
Oh, Ron.
Ron.
Ron, you're not going to like it.
Oh, Ron. Okay, friends. After the fiasco at the match, which I think we can agree, woof. That was a heated episode.
Yeah.
Not heated. Deep,
Dark.
sweaty, sad.
Yeah. Intense.
Yes.
No, they weren't intense anymore.
Oh.
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 Katie, you made Sarah laugh.
That's pretty good.
I mean,
You
I
are
think out of
winning,
everyone,
my dear.
Katie and Tiffany are the ones that make me laugh the most. Because Katie comes out with zingers that you aren't expecting.
Correct.
Sarah just hates me.
It's true.
No.
I will say, like, the last episode, like, had me, like, not regretting things I said, but I was like, oh my gosh.
I will say though that your favorite episode has Meg's line in it.
That is true. It just was perfect. It was just
So
perfect.
good.
The singing was just perfect.
Oh, my Lord. Okay. So, after
I'm
the
perfect.
No way. There's no such thing
Hashtag
as
Slytherin.
perfect.
That's also a Simple Plan song. Wasn't that a running theme in one part?
It really was.
Yep.
All right.
Oh,
The crew gets up after only a couple of hours of sleep because, let's be real, they really want to get out of there and get home. I wonder how many people left that night.
Immediately.
Oh my god.
Oh, probably a bunch. But
You
there was
know?
also like scrambling to get to the port keys
Yeah.
the next day.
Yeah. So when they were leaving the campsite, they passed by Mr. Roberts, who was the muggle that we talked very in depth about.
Yeah.
And he had a quote, strange days looked about him, and he wished them a Merry Christmas. Mr. Weasley said that he would be all right. And I said, I really want to believe Arthur because I really want to. And I don't know. So Arthur says, quote, sometimes when a person's memory is modified, it makes him a bit disoriented for a while. And that was the big thing that they had to make him forget.
I feel
So
this
being
is-
like hoisted up in the air,
Yeah.
tra-la-la throughout the
What is
woods and all.
the memoryness, like the memory charms and all that stuff is foreshadowing.
Definitely.
True. It's also pulling from chamber. I don't know. I just 10 times a day to keep him happy for we don't know how many days. Then this event. Then
seems
another.
damaging.
Yeah, I just don't know if he's going to be the same.
I don't think he would be. It almost makes you feel dirty, like you need to go take a shower to wash that off. You know what I mean?
I feel-
like the thought of it.
Yeah. And I feel like I don't know. I really wish they would have just sent him somewhere.
Ethics.
Bev goes,
Yeah.
so when people just show up and have amnesia, like on a highway, is it wizards? That's an interesting thought, though.
That's an interesting
Maybe.
thought.
You know, where
Yeah.
all of a sudden they just forget
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
They're wizards. We're wizards.
You can't make that joke.
I know.
Don't yell at Tiffany.
I do what I want.
She too does what she wants.
Just be careful.
She poisoned the coffee.
I made
She
it.
poured it.
You don't know what's already in her coffee pot.
That's true.
True.
All right. So I just looked up some memory modifying charm stuff. So I went to the lexicon and there's just some instances where it is used. And it says the memory modifying charm is also called a memory charm.
What?
Oddly enough. It modifies or erases portions of a person's memory. A person who has had their memory erased can be described as obliviated. You're welcome. They are
Thanks
often
for no
used.
memories. Thanks for no memories.
Oh my gosh.
They are often used to uphold the International Code of Wizarding Secrecy and to avoid frightening muggles. Officials with the Ministry of Magic who perform the memory charm on muggles are known as obliviators. You are all so welcome for that.
Wait, what'd you just say? I forgot it.
Nope. Nope. All right. The Minister for Magic, Adeline Gamble, was responsible for the creation of Hogwarts Express to transport young witches and wizards to Hogwarts. However, the secrecy surrounding the project entailed a, quote, mass operation involving 167 memory charms, which was the largest mass concealment charm performed in Britain.
Wow.
Jeez.
Isn't that a lot?
Yeah.
Well, and I like how you said in Britain, because I remember, didn't they have to do a lot with those creatures getting loose? Were they Yeti in America or big, like Bigfoots or something? And they had, because there was an uprising because the woman in charge of them was not nice.
Yeah, Bigfoot.
And they had to memorize.
I think you've said that before, actually.
Oh, and also with that one, with people going crazy with wizards, Dorcas 12 tree or something. whatever her name was.
Yep, good old Dorcas.
The one that was exposed witches and gave the guy that she liked her I almost said her stick, her wand.
Her stick. Here's a twig. Well, here are a couple of cases. So, they're used if muggles see dragons or after an enchanted item falls into the hand of muggles. Loch Ness Monster.
Nessie.
Hold on. Oh, major incidents like in Fantastic Beasts. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A good example is just at the beginning of this book, whenever they had to obviate the policeman who came.
policeman.
The policeman who came to help Moody.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was an example of a magical object being placed somewhere it shouldn't be. Yep.
Yep.
Oh my God. Aunt Marge.
Yes.
God, I wish they did not make her forget that.
Witnesses of Peter Pettigrew's Moida of the Muggles. Bertha Jorkins. And then some other stuff that's like
Sorry.
a million things on the lexicon. So just look up memory modifying charm. Yes.
Vinny says, erasing people's minds feels like dark magic to me. You can do some really bad stuff with it. I agree.
I agree with that too, because I was just going to say, with Bertha Jorkins, we can see how damaging it can be because Voldemort uses such a powerful memory charm that it literally like destroys her to where she's not even like functioning anymore.
I think that's why I thought maybe.
I think that like she was already like damaged already by the time she got to him anyway, so that just pushed her because Crouch used memory charms on her, and that's how he like was undoing them to find out what she really knew, because she knew all about his
Right,
kid and all
because
that
he
stuff.
saw him. She saw him at his house.
Probably legilimens. It would be my
Legitimacy.
You think?
yeah, like going into her mind and like breaking down. In my mind, I see it as like
Like what Snape
for
and
lack
Harry.
of a better
Yeah,
term.
but it's not there.
But when it is there. In my mind, I think it's still there. It's just hidden,
covered.
like by a wall or a pool covering, sort of thing. You know what I mean? So he knocks down the concrete, all of that stuff.
Tear open this pool. Let's go swim it.
He builds a ladder. I guess I don't know.
Talking. Oh Lord. Okay.
Shoot, I lost it.
Well, that's sad.
I have something. Well, yeah, go for it. I have something.
Oh,
while
I
you
was
think.
gonna say, it also like this is kind of in correlation too with Slughorn, how he modified his own memory, but Dumbledore was able to kind of pry it. Even though Slughorn modified it coming out once, it was still there for Dumbledore to get it again.
Yeah.
Even though it was already extracted. So like I don't know. Memories are a weird thing. I think it's really.
It's like time travel.
I think that
all crazy.
comparing like memory modification, a really good like visual representation is honestly Inside Out, the Pixar movie.
Yeah. I
How
know
you
that movie.
have like the marbles of memory
yeah.
and then they like take them and pour them to long-term memory or short-term memory or whatever.
Okay, so where do
And-
modified memories go? Which folder?
I think they go into like a folder in long-term, but it's like hidden away, packed in the back.
like behind a
dusty.
hidden wall, you know?
Like
So you have
up-
to pull
like
a
up
book
in the
down and then the
attic.
wall
Yeah,
flips
like
back.
like
Yeah.
think about like you know, you're in a house and they have like a piece of the wall that like just looks a little off, but they don't know because it's a hidden door and it leads
Like
somewhere.
Anne Frank's apartment.
Sure.
Hidden.
I think it's really cool to
It's a
think about
bookshelf.
like
That's a door.
like how it almost seems like any kind of magic, no matter what, there's like some part of it that could be overpowered if you're powerful enough to do it, or like
Except death.
accept that. True.
Well,
Like
What
Voldemort.
would
wasn't-
Hermione say? What is it like? There's the rudimentary, I don't know, something with magic. Can't make food. Can't
Oh.
reverse that.
Yeah.
can't make food.
Yeah, you can't just
make
create it
food.
out of nothing.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
already have it there.
Like
Yeah.
Voldemort
To
wasn't
manipulate.
only able to like make her forget things, he was also able to dive really deep onto already powerful.
Do you think he was
reversals?
backstroking in the details?
Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
I think he was doggy
Backstroking.
paddling.
in the attic.
He was seriously trying to get into her thoughts.
Oh.
You're welcome.
Yep. Well, thoughts to think if you have the memory up front. All right, back to the chapter. That was a long offshoot.
That was about the chapter. It's okay.
Yeah.
Remember when Meg was like, we're talking about Quidditch. Little off topic. So this thing about Quidditch.
That was good. So as the group gets to where they were going to take their port key, there was a rush of other witches and wizards trying to get their port keys to go home early too. And I said, I don't blame them. And I wonder, though, if they had to wait until a certain time in the morning to even try and go home and then have to get like their times on the port keys changed. Like, I feel like this is just a huge cluster.
Why wouldn't they just side along apparated?
That's what I was going to say.
Percy, no, he's legal. So
Yeah.
Percy, Charlie, Bill. Are you legal to operate, sir? And Arthur. And so then I guess there's the twins.
Do you think there's wizard license?
Well, couldn't two of them stay behind and then they just do it again? You know,
Yeah.
like that seems. I don't know.
I would think so.
I think we just really need emphasis on port keys in this book.
Dear Joe.
I guess so. I mean, yeah, that comes back to haunt us in the end.
Yeah, that
Port
is
key, where are you going to take me?
to a graveyard.
Bad things are gonna happen.
They always do.
Oh boy.
Kill the spell.
Oh.
I always think of royalty when I hear that. I don't know if they actually
Kill
call
the
them.
spare?
Yeah, because it's the heir and the spare. They want like 2 kids. I don't know if they actually say that about royalty, but
I don't even know what's happening right now. Okay. But I will say, so you know how different groups of people take port keys together?
Yes.
Like Cedric and Amos and the Weasley group were all on one port key. I said, I wonder how many people missed their port key because the others were leaving early. Like if you traveled with a group of people and then they're like, no, we want our port key early. Like, can you like change it, whatever? And they change it, but the other people are like still sleeping. You know what I mean?
I bet it was just.
I bet after they
Horrible.
left, like it was just a mess.
I think it was mayhem.
Oh yeah, but I do think that other people left in different ways.
Yes.
Whether it's apparating or whatever. I
Yeah.
think that this group in particular, like, they were just going to take the port key because that's
I think-
what we need to take.
I think people even like to just walk. They're like, you know what? I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk home.
Or I'll walk to a certain spot.
I will walk
and-
500 miles.
Oh. Yes, Megan.
2 things. One, I'm pretty sure that while there could have been other ways for the Weasleys to leave, it was because she wanted the emphasis on port keys.
Oh, correct.
And 2, some people just don't like apparating. So maybe they
That's
just
true.
don't want to do it. Like maybe there's not somebody who wants to go and do it 2 times in a row.
Because
Because
what does
back
it
and
feel?
Get more people.
Like a hook on your belly button is what
That's
Harry
port key.
describes it as?
That's a port key.
Apparitions like squeezing through.
Squeezing through a tube.
Yeah.
Okay.
wonder if
I
that's
don't know.
what-
That would give me claustrophobia.
I wonder if that's what Augustus Gloop
But
felt
it's
when he
fast.
was in charge.
Oh my god.
When he was in the chocolate factory.
All right. So they joined a group of people and they were able to take an old rubber tire back to Stoats Head Hill. And all of them were thinking longingly of their breakfast on the way back to the burrow. So they get back, and as they approach the lane, they hear a cry that echoed the whole way. Mrs. Weasley had been waiting anxiously for them to get back, and it says that her face was pale and stained. And I was like, well, clearly she's been crying, because stained to me means you can see tear stains. You ever cry that hard?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I never cry. Nerves of steel I got.
2 ducks of steel.
Oh my god, she's such a goof. She had a rolled up Daily Prophet in her hand, and she flung her arms around Mr. Weasley's neck. And I said, "Ah, love,
That's cute.
I love them,
Molly Wobbles.
Molly Wobbles." So the headline on the Daily Prophet read, "Quote: Scenes of terror at the Quidditch World Cup," and it was in all caps. And it said that the heading was black and white, with a photograph of the dark mark over the treetops.
Is the newspaper normally printed in color?
I don't
She
think the
made-
Daily Prophet is.
She made a note to say black and white picture.
That's why I'm asking that. Because I would think, normal newspapers in my time are all black and white. You know?
Well, they're color now.
They're black and white and red all over.
I think maybe, I don't know if it's ever been described to us that the Daily Prophet's black and white, so maybe this is just her way of finally describing that it is.
Complete with a twinkling black and white photograph of the dark mark over the treetop.
Oh, maybe it's just saying, okay, and when I hear it like that,
You know when you're writing an essay and you need to make it longer so then you start describing things?
Add a couple words.
I think Joe is just
Couple more
going for more.
adjectives.
She's like, this is going to be the longest book. I got to pack it with everything.
Well, all the colors for sure. So next, Mrs. Wheelie. Hello, Wheelie. Weasley grabs the twins, and they're like, "Ouch, Mom, you're strangling us!" And she's like, "I shouted at you before you left. It's all I've been thinking about. What if you know who had got you? And the last thing I ever said to you was that you didn't get enough owls. Oh, Fred, George."
Oh.
that's such a mom thing. My mom has done that to me.
Truthfully, though, people are like, when you get married, they like to give you advice and like, never go to bed angry. It's true.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's true. I never want to leave someone like, because you just don't know. Because that's life. And so I feel that on a personal level. Like, don't say things that you don't truly mean or try like it'd be hurtful. Just think about the things that you say.
That's happened to me where like right before my 18th birthday, I got in a car accident, and my mom and I were not speaking to each other because we were fighting. And so finally I got a hold of someone. It wasn't bad. The car was damaged, but both me and my friend that was in the car were fine. The other person was fine. Mean, but fine. And it was their fault. So, but like my mom picks me up and she's like, Sarah, she's like, what would have happened if you died and you weren't speaking to your mother? And I was like, but like legitimately, like how horrible would that have been? I mean, I would have been dead, but she would have felt guilty. And had it been reversed, I would have felt guilty. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you should, like Tiffany says, never go to bed angry. Don't be fighting with people.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think like this is a good moment. Like if we do anything for you today, just take the time to recognize what is most important. And that's your people. Whoever they are, just appreciate your people. I don't know. That's all. Episode done. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So everyone's back in the house and they're all crammed in the kitchen. And I said the kitchen is the room with the most love, in my opinion, at least.
Even at Grimmauld Place. Not to interrupt
Yeah.
you. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
no,
It's
you're
always
fine.
the kitchen.
It's always the kitchen. I feel like
Think
that's where
about-
deep conversations always
Yes.
go down.
Yeah.
You're enjoying some good food, some laughs, some cries. You know, it's the kitchen.
Think about like even for Christmas this year when we were at Casey's house, my cousin moved into a nice new
gosh.
house,
Big.
big house, like had tons of room, and every single person, and I don't have a small family, was in the kitchen. Like the food
Yeah.
wasn't even in there. The food was in another room, and everyone was in there
In the kitchen.
In the kitchen.
The kitchen is just comforting.
Yeah.
There's something about it.
And especially because in these books, Joe definitely relates Molly's comfort cooking all
yeah.
the time.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially since Harry like didn't have that experience growing up, and he always looks forward to her. I mean, he's always thinking about it, and he's thinking about even at Hogwarts. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Great
just
haul.
yeah.
I think what's great about this book in particular, where I think that we see a lot of faults with Molly, but we also get to see like she is a mom, not just to her kids, but like you hear later on, like she goes and supports Harry when like everyone else has family. Like she goes there to Hogwarts as his family, and she's even said like, you know, that's my son. He's just as good as, you know, all of that stuff. So
Yeah.
you see like that's such a theme. Like you really finally get to see her being
she fights to
You
be
see her
his
more.
motherly figure.
yeah
She should.
yeah.
That's her.
And I mean, granted, she does get mad at Hermione at one point, but I think most of it is like
It's
that.
not a love.
Yeah, for Harry, like she doesn't want Harry to get hurt, where she thinks that like Hermione's cheating on Harry, but they're not together, anyways. And like as soon as she finds it out, she's like, "Oh, Hermione!" Like, and granted, that's not the best thing about Molly in that aspect of her.
She's a real character.
Yes. And that's what someone recently was just saying. That's what they love about J.K. Rowling is that she writes real characters,
Real people.
And you know, no one in life and no one in this series is perfect, and that's what makes it perfect.
Yep.
That's why all the characters are so relatable most
Yeah.
of the times. And like, you know, I mean, we rag on Snape all the time, and like, but I'm not going to pretend that he's not a great character in the
Yeah.
series. I mean, like, he brings so much to the series, and like, it wouldn't be what it is without him, just like the series wouldn't be what it is without Molly the way she is.
Yeah. And if you want to think about like take the worst things that you could think about Snape and the things that he does and the things that he hangs on to and stuff, like, we all probably do very similar things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, and you can even talk about, like, in my opinion, the worst character of the entire series is Umbridge.
Agreed.
But she's still, like, she's so good at what she does, but it makes you want to kill her.
you
Like,
want
yo.
to pop her head
Like,
off.
she makes me so
Like a Barbie
angry that I
doll.
can't. I can't.
But again, like
it's so good.
she's relatable.
And then what's
You can relate her to people.
What's perfect though is like the actress that plays her, and I think her first name is Imelda. She does her
Imelda
so
Staunton.
well, and
does.
I've just. It makes me so mad, but she's so good.
Yeah.
because I just don't like Umbridge, so it's
Yeah.
just perfect. She's perfect in that role.
Yeah. She said, she's like, I wasn't too sure how I felt being cast as somebody described as toad looking.
Yeah, she's not, I don't think she's ugly at all.
No. I agree.
She's not toad looking, but she
but
portrays her very well.
yeah, I mean, if you look at the drawings with the chapter art,
Oh, gosh.
perfect. But I
Yeah.
will say there is a woman that was not like I knew a woman and looked just like Umbridge is described.
Was she mean, or was she nice?
No, opposite.
Oh,
So that was good.
yeah.
I would never tell this person, but well, I'm like a kid, and I'm like, and I told my mom about it, and my mom's like, "That's not very nice, Tiffany." And I was like, "Oh, sorry,
But it's true.
all right." So what are we talking about? Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mrs. Weasley.
Okay, the kitchen.
The quintessential mom.
Yes. So Mr. Weasley had a cup of very strong tea with a shot of Ogden's Old Fire Whiskey. And I
Ooh,
said, I don't blame you, sir.
Ooh.
That sounds good.
Having a rough day if that's what you're having in the morning.
In the morning. Very early in the morning, too. So I looked it up on the lexicon, and there's a quote from Lockhart, actually. It says, a few of you need to read Wanderings with Werewolves more carefully. I clearly state in chapter 12 that my ideal birthday gift would be harmony between all magic and non-magic peoples, though I wouldn't say no to a large bottle of Ogden's Old Fire Whiskey. I love that.
You're so funny, Lockhart.
Do you think that when
I love him.
do you think when you drink fire whiskey it burns? Not like an alcohol burn, but like a fire burn.
Oh, I'm
yeah.
sure. I'm sure. Also, this makes me think of when people are always like, I want world peace. Because he's like, I want magic between all magic and non-magic people. That's what
You
that
mean
makes
harmony? You just said
Harmony.
magic between all magic people.
Yeah. Well, I would like some of that magic. Maybe that's why I said that.
Agreed.
I would like to be magical. All right. So it is a strong alcoholic beverage similar to muggle whiskey that burns the throat. Yes.
We had this at our wedding. Just saying.
So, but like, is it described as being cinnamon flavored? Because there's Fireball, which is cinnamon whiskey.
Didn't say cinnamon. No.
well,
that's why, like,
the Muggles' interpretation.
That's what they have at the Wizarding World.
Yeah.
I just
Is
was
it Fireball?
curious.
But
yeah,
again,
it's Fireball.
This is not sponsored by them. By the way.
Fireball.
Fireball.
For Megan and Katie's bachelorette party, I got a bottle of Fireball and put a label on it so it said fire whiskey, and we did not drink it.
Not at all.
No. So I,
my
like
gosh.
then I was drinking not like by myself, like we had a party, so I brought it out. So instead of having Fireball, we had fire whiskey.
Do you think any students bought a bottle for Lockhart? Like maybe
Oh.
older ones?
I'm sure.
I'm sure
Yeah,
he's
sure
saying that
someone
to every.
did.
I'm sure he's doing that so people will buy it for him.
Yeah.
So there's just they bring it up in certain instances. They talk about Mr. Weasley drinking it. Ron thought Aberforth Dumbledore might sell them a bottle at the Hog's Head while they're waiting to meet for the DA. Such a Ron thing to do. He's like, maybe we'll get some fire whiskey. No,
15.
Yeah, gosh.
Well, they can drink butterbeer then.
Yeah, but that's like such a
not-
minimal amount
yeah.
for
That only
humans.
affects
Meg's like, give us the fire
ourselves,
whiskey.
right?
I mean, I think
Yes.
it would probably affect like wizards and stuff if they drank
Drink
enough
enough.
of it.
Yeah, but
Hermione acts drunk whenever they go.
Well, but like think about it this way, Tiffany.
Yeah.
If you have one glass of wine versus me having one glass of wine, it's going to affect you more so than me.
so what you're saying is I am a house elf.
No. Who did your dishes today?
You,
What
my
I'm
little
saying,
house
though,
elf.
is, like, Hermione drinking it versus like Harry or Ron, anyways, because men, would the word be digest alcohol differently? Like it goes through their system differently.
I have
than women.
no idea. But anyways,
Yeah.
Rita Skeeter poured herself a glass and the 3 broomsticks. Someone named Harold Dingle wanted to sell the Gryffindors a bottle when the owl exams were over. Romilda Vane in the chocolate cauldrons. Order of the Phoenix toasted to Mad Eye. That's my one strongest memory of this drink in the series is when they toast
Yeah.
and take a shot to Mad Eye and how Harry feels it go down his throat and how it like after the effects of the alcohol like
He
are
wants
gone.
more.
He like still feel like it didn't do anything. It didn't numb him at all. Like he just
think
talks
he
about how
said-
he still feels sick.
He wanted another or something.
Does it?
I don't know.
I don't
That's what I remember. But
We
it's been
should
a
do
minute.
this. Let's get some Fireball every time someone dies that we like, aka like Cedric.
We're gonna get in trouble in book 7.
Well, we can do a collective one, so we're not like.
yeah.
Well, that's no fun.
Well, I'm down with that.
One for
I'm
every,
down.
One for every 3 characters.
Oh, jeez. Still in trouble.
Harry found that Ginny's kiss was more intoxicating than fire whiskey.
Ooh.
Uncle Bilius liked to drink a whole bottle and then he would like to take to the dance floor.
Is Bilius the one that died from seeing a Grim?
I believe so. Maybe that was after. Stumbling around that night.
Poor
Grim.
Bilius.
Oh man. And then weird. Rita Skeeter slandered Neville Longbottom, herbology professor at Hogwarts, and his wife Hannah Abbott, who applied to be the matron at Hogwarts, saying that they both, quote, enjoy a little more Ogden's old fire whiskey than most of us would expect from our custodians of our children.
She's not
Interesting.
a nice person.
All right.
Rita, she's not.
Rita.
Rita.
Okay, and to end this rather long, short section, jeez, I wanted to read a smidge,
No.
Just a smidge.
just a smidge. So they're in the kitchen, and I forgot that they told Bill told Percy to shut up
I love it.
because he's starting to talk about things, and he says, "Do us a favor, Percy," said Bill, yawning. And shut up. So Mr. Weasley is reading the Daily Prophet, and he's like, I'm mentioned, but not by name. Listen to this. Quote, if the terrified wizards and witches who waited breathlessly for news at the edge of the wood expected reassurance from the Ministry of Magic, they were sadly disappointed. A ministry official emerged sometime after the appearance of the Dark Mark, alleging that nobody had been hurt, but refusing to give any more information. Whether this statement will be enough to squash the rumors that several bodies were removed from the woods an hour later remains to be seen. But were they?
But we don't know, do we? Several bodies where they could have been.
It's a rumor because she wrote that. That's why it's a rumor.
Well,
But I don't know.
There might have
Killing
been.
curses flying around.
Yeah.
Mr. Weasley does say after that he's like, nobody
He's
was
like, nobody
hurt.
was.
Well, where he was.
Right,
were
right,
there
right.
people where he
Right.
wasn't hurt, you know?
He was saying though, like her story of bodies getting removed from the forest. I think I have it in my section.
You're like, forest.
Forest. Mr. Weasley's annoyed at Rita because he says rumors that several bodies were removed from the woods. Well, there certainly will be rumors. Now she's printed that. He has to go into the office, and then Percy joins him.
Anne-Marie saying that Rita Skeeter invented fake news.
She did invent fake news. So I'm going to do a little fact file on Rita. So she was born. Oh, and also I wanted to say there's foreshadowing here for her importance to this book because
True.
she's being mentioned early on. She's going to play a bigger role later.
Yep.
Is this the first time we hear of her in the book?
I
feel like
hold
the
on.
last
No,
chapter-
I don't think that it is because maybe. Oh, I don't know.
I mean, think about 7. She's essential in 7.
Yeah. True story.
Man,
Very
I can't wait to read
important
that
character.
again.
And little known fact, Rita Skeeter is Joe.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
Joe.
Actually, I have a little bit about that. It's
you
not
really?
true.
It is true.
Can we go back? Rita, who are you?
So Rita, she was born in
Rita.
1951.
Give
Her
us a
s-
birth date, Joe.
I know. Her skills are bending the truth, puncturing what she considered to be inflated reputations with her poisonous quill, and turning into a beetle to eavesdrop on conversations with her skill as an animagus.
Registered.
What a thing to turn into, though.
Well, it's perfect.
yeah.
I know.
So
Yeah.
Rita Skeeter is a reporter for the Daily Prophet who is known for her rubbishy exposés of well-known wizards. She uses a quick quotes quill to write in flowery, prose-filled prose.
Innuendos.
I think she just really wants some rosé, and that's why she said
Yeah.
rosé.
Well, it was like because it was right below expose. Okay, never mind. Flowery prose filled with innuendos and veiled accusations. So the etymology of Rita, it's short. It's a short form of the Latin word margarita, which was from Greek margarites, which means pearl. No. Skeeter is a slang word for mosquito, which seems highly appropriate for someone who's constantly buzzing, stinging, and being an annoyance. So. Maybe it means pearl because she looks like she wouldn't be somebody who's like that necessarily.
Or you can get pearls of wisdom, but like pearls of like,
right.
little nuggets of things.
Yeah.
Also thinking of like, she's a beetle, and you always say like, I would give anything to be a fly on the wall in that conversation.
And she literally
she's
is.
the beetle in the wall.
Yeah.
Or in the hair.
Yeah. Or
So
in the
she
bush.
has written quite a few bibliographies in her time. Armando Dippet, Master or Moron. The Life and Lies of Albus Dumbledore.
I'd love to hear that. Like read the whole
I
thing.
want to read the whole thing. Biography of Harry, title unknown. Snape, Scoundrel or Saint. Dumbledore's Army, The Dark Side of the Deep.
That is going to be like the dark side of the moon.
Is that really D-Mob?
I don't know.
Demon? I don't know. Okay, well. Man or Monster, The Truth About Newt Scamander.
Oh my gosh.
So in 2014, she and Ginny clashed while reporting at the final of the Quidditch World Cup in Patagonia. She also wrote quite a nasty follow-up article about Harry and the DA. So, question for Joe. Somebody asked her this. There's a character in this book, Rita. How true is this a depiction of your relations with the press? And she responded and said, well, I'll tell you the truth, but I doubt very much that anyone's going to want to hear this. I tried to put Rita in Philosopher's Stone. You know, when Harry walks into the leaky cauldron for the first time and everyone says, Mr. Potter, you're back. I wanted to put a journalist in there. She wasn't called Rita then, but she was a woman. And then I thought, as I looked at the plot overall, I thought that's not really where she fits best. She fits best in 4, when Harry's supposed to come to terms with his fame. So I pulled Rita from book 1 and planned her entrance for book 4. And I was really looking forward to Rita coming in book 4. For the first time ever, my pen metaphorically hesitated over writing her because I thought, everyone will think this is my response to what's happened to me. But the fact is, Rita was planned all along. Did I enjoy her a little more because of what's happened to me? Yeah, I probably did. So Rita was always there, but it just kind of was a happy coincidence that it coincided kind of with her personal life.
All right.
Her name was Bridget.
May I
before.
interrupt?
Bridget.
Bridget?
Oh, Rita's
With
so
a
much
T or a
better.
D?
T, sorry. I think I said it wrong because I was like, your sister.
There's a little bit I'm like, which way was it spilled?
Matthew Lewis has his wallet.
I saw that. So
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. This is a tweet. Wow. You guys are dope. Really humbled by this response. That got more pickup than any of my Brexit material. And guess what I have? My wallet. I did not expect that to happen. I owe you all a debt of gratitude and can't thank you enough. You're amazing. This is a good day.
Someone posted it in
Nice.
our Discord chat just now, too. That's so
That's funny.
15 hours ago.
Hey, that's awesome. Well, I should have looked on Twitter before we started recording this episode, but I didn't.
Good job, humanity. Proud of you.
So, on Pottermore, there's an article. We'll see how we feel about this, but it's called In Defense of Rita Skeeter. So,
Why?
the title is, There Must Have Been Something Good About Her.
That makes me think of Cinderella with Lucifer, where she's trying to think of something that's good about
must
him.
be something good about you. So she was genuinely good at her job is one of their points. She was the worst kind of tabloid journalist, but from an editor's point of view and from her reader's point of view, she was great at her job. Doesn't mean that it's right. The Beetle Animagus thing was pretty clever. But here's the thing, like, I get that that's a point and that is clever, but like she didn't choose what she was going to turn into. It was just like luck that that's what she turned into. So I don't really like that point.
I wonder what she thought, like, when that was her animagus form, though.
Probably like, oh,
Like,
I
was
should go
she
into
like-
journalism.
Oh.
Perfect. Her writing was described as enchanting, actually by Albus Dumbledore, though he did describe it as enchantingly nasty, but that's still enchanting, right? Mm-hmm. She did sometimes stand up for what was right. This is the only point that I kind of like. So before finding her new target in Harry, Rita did usually write damning reports on the Ministry of Magic. So sure, she was still being damning, but she was holding the ministry to account, which included revealing that Bertha Jorkins had gone missing. It was probably all for her own means, as usual, but highlighting the corruption of the ministry, which gradually became dangerous during the height of Voldemort's power, was at the very least sort of helpful. Even though most of it was exaggeration, hyperbole, and lies, still, what's the wizard equivalent of a Pulitzer Prize? And then in the end, she did help Harry, even though it was under blackmail from Hermione. So she does interview Harry to deliver the truth about Lord Voldemort for the Quibbler. Not that she did that on her own accord, but at least she did it.
Correct.
So. And another thing was she had a unique sense of style.
Yeah.
Sure. And her pen was cool.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, and she wasn't a Death Eater. Well, that's something.
Is it?
They did a lot of these articles, though. They're really cool. Like, they did another one in the defense of Narcissa Malfoy. And
They just did one in defense of Alice Longbottom. I didn't read it yet.
Why would you have to defend her?
yeah, why do you have to defend her?
Isn't she Neville's grandmother?
Oh, I thought it was his
Alice
mom.
Longbottom's his
Oh,
mom.
whatever his grandmother's name is.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, maybe I'll be interested in reading about his grandma.
We
Because
have-
I'm not a fan
We
of
have
her.
crapped on her a lot.
We have. So, like I said before, like Mr. Weasley's annoyed at Rita.
I lied. It's unsung heroes. Augustus Longbottom.
Augustus Gloop.
So Mr. Weasley is annoyed at Rita because of the rumors that she now has decided to spread and create all on her own because she decided to print them. So he feels he has to go into the office. Mrs. Weasley's upset, though, because she says that he's supposed to be on holiday. And I'm just saying, if I was Mr. Weasley, I'd prop my feet up and take a snooze because I'm not going into the office on my vacation. Peace. You're on your own. I guess that makes me not a very good employee, but oh well.
Hey, you're on vacation.
My
You're on
personal
vacation.
life is more important. Well, it's true. Harry decides that this is a wonderful moment to ask Mrs. Weasley if Hedwig had shown up yet. It's not really a good time to ask her that, but she hasn't. So then that leads Ron and Hermione wanting to know what he's talking about because he seemed like really interested in knowing if Hedwig was back because he's waiting for Sirius's response. So they all head upstairs so that he can tell them about his scar because he hadn't had the opportunity to yet. And they reacted exactly as he had imagined. So Hermione was all, oh, we should look in some books. Let's talk to Dumbledore, maybe Madame Pomfrey. And then Ron was just trying to make sense of it. Like, well, Voldemort wasn't here, was he? So, like, that's how it went the last time that this happened. Voldemort was at Hogwarts, but he can't be here now, can he?
Yes.
In his dreams. But then Harry goes on.
Technically, he's
Part
there.
of Harry.
So Harry then tells them about the dream that he had where they were plotting to kill somebody, but he left out that it was him that they were talking about.
I love that he tries to protect them
I know.
from like feeling
Yeah,
certain
emotional.
things. Yeah,
From the feels.
from the feels. Yeah.
Ron insists it was just a nightmare, but Harry is like, it's weird though, isn't it? My scar hurts, and 3 days later, the Death Eaters are on the march, and Voldemort's sign is up in the sky again. True. And he brings up Trelawney's prediction again from last year. So again, Jo is pulling us back to that moment to let us know that I think that this is her way of letting us know that it is a true and real prediction by bringing it up again.
Correct.
So Hermione, she hates her, so she's like, oh, she's a fraud. And Harry's just like, no, like you weren't there.
Yeah.
She literally went into a trance. So recap, Tiffany. She said the Dark Lord would rise again, great and more terrible than ever before, and he'd managed it because his servant was going to go back to him, and that night Wormtail escaped.
Oops, sorry, hit my mic.
The moment all three of them figure this out, yes.
I'm just thinking, like, yes, usually she's not correct, she being Trelawney. But Hermione should realize, like, Harry also realizes it most of the time. Trelawney's not being truthful or not, like,
So if he's recognizing it, yeah.
Like, if he says it, just why would you doubt him?
Right.
I think she just really
try to
has a
make him
thing
feel
against
better.
her. I think that Hermione really just hates her. She basically, not attacked, but in Hermione's eyes, she like attacked her intelligence when it came to this subject, and that was really hurtful to her. So she's never gonna be on her side or really like believe much of anything.
But, like, you can't be good at everything, Hermione.
Well,
True.
That's not how Hermione, goes through life. So Harry explains that he sent Hedwig to Sirius to ask about his scar, and Hermione thinks that it's probably taking a long time because who knows where he is. He could be in Africa. Isn't that what we guessed before? We said maybe Africa, or we said maybe the Caribbean or South America.
We sang
Rio, maybe?
Africa by
Rio.
Toto.
Africa or Rio. Those are kind of my two. Just depends.
Tropical birds, big old tropical birds. I wonder if they taste like Fruit Loops.
This is one of my favorite parts of this chapter because it's just such like a good interaction between like the trio. So Ron, in his mind, he like wants to lighten it up, and he's like, well, let's just go play Quidditch. And Hermione's like, no, Ron, you're dumb. Harry doesn't want to play Quidditch. And like, as I'm reading it, I'm like, of course he wants to play Quidditch.
Yeah. Right. Like, I don't even think he'd care if he's like, let's just go ride our brooms. He'd be like,
Yep.
bye.
Yeah. And then Harry is just like, yeah, I'll go get my firebolt. And then Hermione's all like, boys.
Poor Hermione. She puts up with a lot with them.
And it's kind of funny
She chose that
because
life. She did.
Ginny, I think Ginny is more like the boys than like Hermione. So like, even though she has a friend in Ginny, like Ginny probably wants to go.
We locked eyes. I was going to say it. And I was like, no, don't.
As soon as I saw Sarah's face, I'm like, she's going to sing.
All I can envision though is like Hermione being like to Ron, he doesn't want to play Quidditch, and like turns around and they're like already playing it. Like doesn't even get the whole word. Like he doesn't want to play
Harry's like,
Quidditch.
caught the snitch.
It's like they're already gone.
I just think that's like the perfect distraction for him though. Like just go.
Get your
clear
mind off.
head.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta go and do something else. And especially for him, since, everything's always in his head,
Clear your head from that Voldy.
which you
Thought.
can't because he's partyist. I'm sorry.
In time, it'll go away. Don't worry.
But I do agree. Like I think though with Ginny is that she's used to being around boys. So like when they're playing Quidditch, she would get to play as well. And we know that she likes Quidditch. We also know Hermione does not. So I think that's part of it too, where she would be right along the boys playing, and Hermione would be like, I'll just sit under a tree and read a book. Thanks.
Probably Hogwarts history.
Hogwarts history.
Probably.
Probs.
Do you think they're in the like latest edition?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, for sure.
Also,
definitely.
I would like that book, please. Please.
What would you like more? Life and Lies or
Life and
Hogwarts?
Lies. Are you kidding?
Life and Lies.
I want the Hogwarts one.
Me too. It's like thousands of years.
Of
I guess
my
it would
jumpy.
depend.
Dumbledore would be in it.
I guess it would depend on like what we get out of Fantastic Beasts as to if I would want Hogwarts of History or Life and Lies, because like
Do
we
you
might
want-
learn a lot about Life and Lies through not Crimes of Grindelwald, but through Fantastic Beasts. So, like, if I got my fill of it from that, then I would definitely jump to Hogwarts of History.
900 pages of Reader Skeeter crap. Don't know if it's true or not. Or Hogwarts of History.
Like, and think, because it
I'm
started
gonna kick
in,
you
like,
in the chest and say this is Hogwarts.
Bring it.
it started in, like, what, 1050? So, like, think of thousands of, like,
You're not changing my mind,
hundreds.
bro.
I mean, you do you,
Also,
boo.
you want to read a Skeeter crap? It's a lot of Bathilda.
True.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to make up what Bathilda said because that in itself, the truth is juicy enough.
It's true.
Suck it.
I still want Hogwarts, though.
Stop looking at me.
The truth is juicy enough.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
God, I'm good.
Just like a cheeseburger. It's a Dumbledore burger.
I would like a Dumble burger.
A cheese
I'd like
dumpling.
Extra cheese.
a Hogwarts Deluxe, thank you. Fries on the side with a Coke. That's
What's
what I would like.
Fries and a side? What's the other side?
And a Coke on the side.
Attention, dear Swishers. Adventurers out there. Why settle for ordinary chain store coffee when you can have an adventure in every cup with Expedition Roasters? Artisanal roasters of pop culture coffees. Now you can experience a little theme park magic every day at your home. Each themed bag features a custom artwork by guest artists that make it perfect for displaying in your kitchen or office. Try one of our premium wizarding roasts like Book Smart Blueberry, Charming Chocolate Cherry, Cunning Caramel Crunch, or Big Hearted Butterscotch. All our coffees are certified gluten and allergen free. So start your coffee adventure today at expeditionroasters.com and use your coupon code SWISHFLICK15 to save 15% on your first purchase. Brew your happy place, y'all.
Do you want to also tell
Y'all.
them they now have some tea as well, so you can get tea if you want.
Yes, sip tea.
Is it loose leaf, I believe?
I think so.
I have no idea.
I think so, because it just comes in like a bag.
Today's show is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering our listeners a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. So just go to audibletrial.com/swishflickcast and browse all of the Harry Potter books for your listening pleasure. It's really that easy. Go to audible.com/swishflickcast to get started now. So they have original audio shows on there, news, comedy, more from the leading audiobook publishers, broadcasters, and entertainers. So they have all of the Harry Potter books. They have Quidditch Through the Ages, Fantastic Beasts. They have a history of magic audiobook that is narrated by the girl from Game of Thrones.
Yes.
I can't remember her name, but Game of Thrones. And then also Dan Fogler did an audiobook for Audible about Crimes of Grindelwald, and he like talked about behind the scenes on set and stuff. It's supposed to be really neat. I haven't listened to it yet.
Cool.
So I love to listen to it on my drive to work all the time, and I suggest that you just get the Potter books. I mean, come on.
Come on.
Yep. So download your free audiobook today. Go to audibletrial.com/swishflickcast. Again, audibletrial.com/swishflickcast for your free audiobook and 30-day trial.
Woo woo.
Do it. While you're sipping your Expedition Roaster. It's coffee.
This is true.
All right, my turn. So, over the next week, Mr. Weasley and Percy aren't home all that much. So they both leave the house each morning before anyone else is awake, and they come home well after dinner time.
Nah, bro.
That's a long shift. It's like working at Disney. So, Percy says it's been an absolute uproar at the ministry, and he's been receiving howlers all week. Like, he says there's scorch marks on his desk, and he's been putting out fires because he can't keep up opening them, and they explode when you don't open them. People have been complaining about the security at the World Cup, and they want compensation for their ruined property. This puts in our second mention ever of Mundungus Fletcher. So he put in a claim for a 12-bedroom tent with an ensuite jacuzzi. And Percy's like, I've got his number. I know for a fact he was sleeping under a cloak propped on sticks.
I love that.
Percy, how does he not know that cloak propped up on sticks didn't magically turn into a 12-bedroom tent with an ensuite jacuzzi?
Because Dung was probably sleeping half outside of it.
It might have been Hagrid's cloak. We don't know.
Right. Harry slept under her cloak one time.
He also slept under some stairs for a long time.
Harry sleeps under things.
Wow.
Oh boy. All right, so I was going to do a quick fact file on good old Dung, which what a name. He is said to be on Pottermore the petty crook and the most sticky-fingered member of the Order of the Phoenix. His distinguishing features are tattered clothing, unshaven, smells of stale alcohol and tobacco. He's short and like shorter than Harry at 17. And we already know that Harry is pretty short anyway.
Is Harry short or is Dan short?
No, he is short.
Dan-
He's small for his age.
No, but like I think he shoots up.
Maybe he does.
But Dan is short.
Dan is very short. Yes.
Is Mundungus the same height as Danny DeVito?
I'm gonna say that he's like 1.1 Danny DeVito's. Slightly taller.
So we've created Dung DeVito. All right.
Oh my god.
So his skills are gathering information for the Order, dealing in stolen cauldrons, but I wonder if he worries about the bottoms, and acquiring the odd muggle car. And his hobbies are drinking, though he's been banned from the Hogshead since the 70s.
Wow.
I wonder why. Sleeping under that cloak with
Maybe
the
he
goats.
was. I was gonna say maybe he was trying to get with the goats or steal a goat.
Oh
And
man,
we know-
Aberforth did not have
Yeah.
that.
He's very protective of them.
So Mrs. Weasley and Mr. Weasley. Oh, Mrs. Weasley says Mr. Weasley hasn't had to go into the office on weekends like this since the days of you-know-who. So they're working him too hard. His dinner's going to be ruined if he doesn't come home soon. What about like a preservation charm? Does that not exist?
But
a
I wonder.
warming charm?
I wonder if that's like when you have like a great meal and like you
And then you microwave.
microwave
yeah.
it, so it's still like but it's microwaved.
I think you're right because later on when he comes home, he like pokes at like shriveled cauliflower or something. So I think you're right. The poor guy. So then Percy is like, well, father feels he's got to make up for his mistake at the match, doesn't he? If truth be told, he was a tad unwise to make a public statement without clearing it with his head of department first. And Mrs. Weasley's like, don't you dare blame your father for what that wretched Skeeter woman wrote.
It's like he's Malfoy, but like on the other side of the coin. Father was wrong, blah, 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 blah. And so,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
get real.
Like, but here's my thing. I never viewed what Arthur did as a public statement. It was people that knew him, and he was just like, no, whatever, just
Yeah.
saying.
Do you think she was beetling out?
For sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Sitting
yeah.
on a leaf,
Yep.
eating some aphids?
Sure.
Aphids? Yes.
I don't know.
We have an update from Vinny.
Ooh.
The actor that portrayed Mundungus is 1.1088 Danny DeVito's.
What do I get? I
perfect.
called it. I
perfect.
called it.
That's amazing.
Even if you round that sucker up, 1.1 DeVito's.
Oh,
Yep.
my God.
You're welcome.
That's so great.
I can't stand you.
I just feel like that's a victory. And you know what? Today, I needed a win.
I feel like Danny DeVito needs to be on this podcast.
This is an informal invitation
Yep.
because I know you're
Guys, tweet
listening.
him.
Tweet at him.
Is he on Twitter?
I don't know.
I know he posts pictures of his big toe different places. That's so weird, but it's true.
Oh my
Wiggle
God.
my big toe.
Ew.
DeVito's like, look at my big toe.
He calls it something specific. Carry on. I'll let you know.
So here's Mrs. Weasley defending Mr. Weasley and against Rita Skeeter. And yet, later in this book, she believes the crap that she writes in The Prophet. I don't know.
Honestly, that is like the one big thing that really bothers me with Molly. Like, I can get over the twins. It's whatever. The Hermione thing, though, she makes me
We all have
mad.
faults. We all have faults.
I
She's
know.
still a wonderful mom.
Definitely.
So Bill agrees with Mrs. Weasley. So even if Mr. Weasley hadn't said anything, Rita would have come up with something like, well, the ministry didn't even make a statement. How disgraceful. So it was kind of like lose-lose. She's going to find a way to dig something up. And Bill says she never makes anyone look good. She once interviewed all of the Gringotts charm breakers and called him a long-haired pillock. And I didn't know what a pillock was. It's literally a stupid person.
So mean.
I love it.
So the twins are off in a far corner talking in whispers over a piece of parchment. And Mrs. Weasley's like, what are you up to? You better not be making any more order forms to restart Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. And hold on. So for a long time, I didn't understand why they called it Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. And it just hit me when I made these notes because it's like laughing.
Are
you
Okay, I wasn't the only one.
I just,
Thank God.
To be honest with you, I never really, because there's so many words, I just would skip over it and be like,
me.
I would just be like, it's the
wheeze.
twins'
Like
shot.
you wheeze when you laugh.
So anyway, here comes Fred. Now, Mum, said Fred, looking up at her, a pained look on his face. If the Hogwarts Express crashed tomorrow and George and I died, how would you feel to know the last thing we ever heard from you was an unfounded accusation? And everyone laughed, even Mrs. Weasley. So I think she's feeling a little lightened up after the scare. So here is where the Weasley clock is like more officially mentioned.
Yeah.
So it shows that Mr. Weasley's hand suddenly goes from work to traveling and then a second later to home. So the first mention of a special timepiece in the Weasley home is from Chamber of Secrets. But it seems like it might be a different clock. So that says the clock on the wall opposite him, Harry, had only one hand and no numbers at all. Written around the edge were things like time to make tea, time to feed the chickens, and you're late. However, this clock, which appears obviously in Goblet of Fire, it says Mrs. Weasley glanced at the grandfather clock in the corner. Harry liked this clock. It was completely useless if you wanted to know the time, but otherwise very informative. It had 9 golden hands, and each of them was engraved with one of the Weasley family names. There were no numerals around the face, but descriptions of where each family member might be. Home, school, and work were there, but there was also traveling, lost, hospital, prison, and in the position where the number 12 would be on a normal clock, mortal peril. Yes.
Do you think the entire time Ron is traveling with Harry and Hermione, it's on mortal peril?
I think it all.
Probably.
I think they all are.
I think
Oh,
once
yeah.
he's
Yes.
like back, it's like
All right, fun fact time. It is ironic in the movies.
don't you
that-
think?
in Chamber of Secrets that dentist is listed on the clock because it's implied quite a few times in the series that wizards have no use for dentists.
You are correct.
And Herm's parents.
Because Slughorn is very interested in Hermione's parents' jobs.
That's a dangerous profession.
Maybe
One boy.
Robbie Fenwick.
Bit my father.
Maybe like
Stitches.
oh my gosh. Maybe because the Weasleys are muggle friendly that they know
Maybe.
what dentists are and maybe they were like, let's get my teeth clean.
Yes, do you think Arthur goes for fun and he's like, ooh, what are these?
Oh my God. He's got to be the most annoying patient to them, but so I would love to see that.
I don't hate going to the dentist.
I used to,
Oh,
but I
I
don't
don't.
anymore.
I don't hate it because my mom cleans my teeth.
So Mr. Weasley reports that Rita Skeeter has been looking for more ministry mess-ups all week. And she did find out about Bertha Jorkins missing. So, joy. That'll be the headline all week. Yeah.
I gotta say though, like it's not a bad
No,
thing
yeah,
that she
you're right.
finds ministry mess ups. Like those should be reported.
I feel bad that...
authentic mess up.
Right.
Right, I feel bad that, like, Mr. Weasley isn't one of the people screwing up the government. And he still has to deal with, like, a huge brunt of everything right now.
I feel like a lot of Rita Skeeter's reporting is fake news.
Well, and the thing with that though is she's saying all these things, so when she reports real things, are people going to believe her?
Right.
No.
Right. So he also says that Crouch is really lucky she hasn't found out about Winky because that would be another week's worth of headlines. His house elf caught holding the wand that conjured the dark mark.
Maybe people should know that.
Oh my gosh.
But she didn't do it. She isn't knowing how.
I isn't knowing how, sir.
All right. So I like how she's like, I'm here all along. So Hermione is instantly angry because you mention a house elf and she's like, they need rights. So they had agreed that the elf had not been the one to conjure the mark, Percy. And what would people say if they knew how Crouch was so mean to his elves? He should be lucky that wasn't reported. So then
Herb,
Percy is like, whoa, bro. He defends Crouch, saying he deserves unswerving obedience from his servants. And then Hermione's like, his slave, you mean, because he didn't pay Winky, did he? So then Molly like breaks up the argument before it really gets more heated. And by telling them, like, go upstairs, just make sure you're packed and ready to leave tomorrow because they're going back to school.
Such a mom.
So Harry and Ron head up to Ron's room and they look at their half-packed trunks, seeing Hedwig's cage is still empty. His been a week. Harry's hoping that, something hasn't happened. Something serious hasn't happened to Sirius. That he hasn't been caught. But Ron's like, dude, if he was caught, we would have heard something by now. Like in The Prophet, it would have been like, they probably would have flat out said, like, we caught Sirius Black. Or,
Right.
like, we caught the fugitive. Something would have been said.
Oh, Fudge would have loved that.
Yes. It would have taken heat away from the whole dark mark conjuring and all that stuff, too. Mm-hmm. So, Harry decides to kind of look at the stuff that Mrs. Weasley, and I wrote Mr., got him in Diagon Alley. So she got his books, some money from his vaults, and washed all of his socks. Now, isn't that nice?
How kind.
So he has the Standard Book of Spells, grade 4 by Miranda Goshawk. He has a handful of new quills, a dozen roll of parchments, and he has refills for his potion making kit. So he was running low on spine of lionfish and the essence of belladonna. So I'm like, ooh, let's Google this stuff. So I did. And from, let me find it. Of course, it's the last thing. So lionfish spine on the Wikia, or it's harrypotter.fandom.com/Wikia. Saying lionfish have extremely long and separated spines. They can be crushed into a powder, and these spines can be used in healing potions, such as the Wiggenweld potion, which I'll tell you what that is in 2 Shakes of a Lamb's Tail. And it's also an ingredient of the herbicide potion, as well as some more complicated ones. The ingredient can be bought from some shops, notably the Apothecary in Diagon Alley. Yes.
I remember the Wiggenweld potion from the video game.
Yeah, it's a healing potion with the power to cure injuries and to awaken a person from a magically induced sleep, which gives it the ability to reverse the effects of potions like the sleeping drought and the drought of the living dead.
It healed you when you were dying in the game. Like if you were in a battle or something, you could
life.
drink Wiggenweld potion and it would give you more life. Yeah,
Wiggenweld.
Yeah.
Aurora should have drank some of that.
yeah, it would have awoken her from dead.
And Snow White.
Sleep. I mean, not dead.
A dead sleep.
A dead sleep.
My gosh. So we see it, I guess, in Philosopher's Stone, the Goblet of Fire it's mentioned, and then their video game, Pottermore it's mentioned, and it's in Hogwarts Mystery, that game. So that's a fun fact. And then with Belladonna, it is a poisonous plant native to parts of Asia and Europe, and it's sometimes known as deadly nightshade, and it produces small black berries that must not be eaten. Eating the berries or leaves can be deadly. Similar to a poison ivy, a person whose skin comes in direct contact with the leaves may develop a rash. And then in ancient times, people used belladonna for its toxic properties as an oral poison, not organ, or on the tips of arrows. And then some scholars believe that Shakespeare referenced belladonna in his play Romeo and Juliet. It is possible that belladonna was the poison that Juliet drank to fake her death. And then as time progressed, people used belladonna for cosmetic and medicinal purposes. For example, doctors used it as an antiseptic before surgery in medieval Europe. A little off tangent, but if you guys ever read about like makeup back in like the medieval times and stuff and how toxic it is, it's so fascinating. And so during the Italian Renaissance, which lasted from the 14th to 16th century, fashionable women drank the juice of belladonna berries to dilate their pupils. Belladonna owes its name to this practice as it means a beautiful woman in Italian. What is wrong with me? I can't read. And then in modern times, optometrists often use belladonna to help dilate pupils while examining a person's eyes. And then other recent uses include over-the-counter creams and other herbal supplements. Despite its commercial availability, people are strongly advised to use belladonna with caution and under a doctor's care. And there's a couple other things. If you guys want to know this website, I'll send it to you. We'll put it on our Facebook page. Yeah.
That is shout out to Hunger Games because that's what they use at the end too.
Mm-hmm. And that's what that one guy eats because he's forced to.
Yep.
The guy with the crazy mustache.
Yep. Belladonna. Nightshade.
Nightshade
and it's also in Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
The nightshade you slipped me wore off, Sally.
So, whilst going through his stuff, Harry hears Ron make a loud noise of disgust. What is that supposed to be? He was holding up something that looked to Harry like a long maroon velvet dress. Momentary pause. Doesn't he hate maroon because that's the color
Yes.
sweater his mother always makes him?
Yep.
It had a moldy looking lace frill at the
Moldy.
collar and matching lace cuffs.
I feel like this is what Nick's outfit would look like.
Yes.
Was like actual and
Yes.
not ghost.
So I Googled to see if there was like anything like dress robes. And on Pottermore, they have a picture of Ron showing Harry his dress robes in his room. And I was laughing because it says Ron shows Harry his new dress robes with dismay. And his entire room, there's an inch of it that's not covered in something Chudley cannons, which I thought was amusing.
It's cute.
But like the picture does look, it looks like a nightgown, like an old fashioned nightgown, if I'm being honest.
I love it. Like a moo
Kind of, yeah.
Longer, though.
Yeah. So Mrs. Weasley arrives with clean Hogwarts robes for the boys and reminds them to place them nicely in their trunks so they don't crease. So Ron's like, "Whoa, Mom, why are you trying to give me Ginny's ugly dress?" She's like, "Nah, Ron, those would be your dress robes." And so dress robes are for special occasions, and it was on their list for school. So then there's a couple of things like on the Wikia and Pottermore and the lexicons. I'm going to read a bit of it because I thought it was interesting. So obviously there are a formal variety of robes worn by witches and wizards for special occasions and can vary in style and color as much as everyday robes. So we first see them this year because they have to go to a ball, which we don't. Well, yeah, it's a ball. We just don't see it yet. And then I think they wear them for the Christmas party, like Harry does, and everybody that attends there. Dress robes were worn at the funeral of Albus Dumbledore and to the wedding of Bill and Fleur. And yeah, it's pretty cool. And then it tells you this is on the Wikia, and it tells you everybody, like, what they wore to the Yule Ball. And then, like, you know, the Slughorn's Christmas party, the funeral. I just think that's really cool. And then on the Wikia, it kind of says the same stuff. And it has, like, each person that went to the Yule Ball and, like, what they dressed like. And it has a little bit on Madame Melkins. Is that how you say that? Madame
Melkins.
Robes for all occasions. During one summer sale, they sold robes which were spangled, self-ironing, beautifying, slimming, fattening, lengthening, temperature adjusting, and plain with a free frog skin belt with every purchase.
I've never thought of magical clothing.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And then we know that that's one place that sells them. Glad Rags Wizard Wear. And
Glad Rags.
Then there's a secondhand robe shop in Diagon Alley.
We don't know the name of that place.
I don't think so.
Well,
And then,
what would you name it?
I'm trying to think of something.
reused
Reused robes. Ooh. Recycled robes.
I like the
that.
alliteration.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to go for.
So there's an article. Oh my god!
Extra stitches.
A second stitch.
Oh, isn't that a real place though?
I don't know.
Carry on.
Okay.
I like that.
So there's an article on Pottermore and it says Hogwarts haute couture, the greatest fashion moments of the Harry Potter films. So it talks about like what they wore in the actual movies. And I have to say that I love Ron's outfit, although it's completely different. So like you're gonna find out in like 2 seconds when I tell you, or when you read the chapter, that she bought this his dress robes from a secondhand store. Where in the movie, like she never says it, and he's like talking about his like great aunt Muriel. I smell it. Oh, Tessie, my great aunt Tessie.
Great Aunt Tussie.
I smell like my great aunt Tessie. So first, the article talks about the different things that like how wizards wear. So it's confusion about what to wear when dressing as muggles can lead to some very strange combinations as seen in the Quidditch World Cup, where confused outfits included a kilt paired with a poncho and a tweed suit matched with thigh-length galoshes. But the unique wizarding take on style has led to some of the most beautiful, daring, and interesting costumes to wear on the big screen. So perfect your do with the liberal amounts of Slick Easy's hair potion and take your seats in the front row to remember the best moments of Hogwarts high fashion with the Harry Potter films. So the first bit is Hermione's Yule Ball dress, which we'll talk about later on. And then Ron's Yule Ball robes. And it says on the other side of Yule Ball fashion, because obviously she looked very beautiful. We have poor Wan's outfit. After receiving his hand-me-down dress robes from Mrs. Weasley, Ron mistakenly thought the frilly getup was for Ginny, who immediately called them ghastly, and we have to agree with her. And it says, the lace and dodgy lil collar were made worse by Ron's review of his Yule Ball attire. I look like my great Aunt Tessie. I smell like my great Aunt Tessie. Still better to be on the worst dress list than not to be remembered at all. And I will say, I bought from Universal his outfit to hang on my Christmas tree as an ornament. Yeah, Megan.
Is it in the book or the movie? It's not in the movie, but in the book, doesn't he try to use the severing charm to take the lace off? And he doesn't do a very good job at it. So like phrase.
Yeah.
Yep.
Poor Ron.
I will say that I like the book
Yeah.
version better because in the movie, he gets it in front of everybody, and I think that adds to his
Embarrassment.
yes, you should have. And then I was saying to Tiffany, I'm like, why couldn't they it's on your list, but not everyone goes to the Yule Ball. Like, not everyone 4th year and up.
Right.
I know a lot, but what if you didn't want to go at all?
Yeah, I don't think you're forced to.
Yeah.
On Discord, Isaiah says he hates that the film uses the dress robes as a means of ridiculing him in front of the whole school. And then Bev says, for sure, one reason schools use uniforms is to make sure kids aren't teased for their various socioeconomic status.
That's true.
Yeah. So, poor little Ron. Poor little Wan. So Ron's like, I'm not going to wear these robes. So his mother reminds him that everyone wears them.
I love this part.
His father has some for smart parties. And
Love that.
I
So
do too.
he retorts that he would rather go Starkers
Love it.
than wear them.
Love Molly. Come on, Molly.
So then Molly turns.
Yes.
This is what she says first. So Mrs. Weasley also got Harry some dress robes, and so from the book it says, in some trepidation, Harry opened the last parcel on his camp bed. It wasn't as bad as he'd expected. However, his dress robes didn't have any lace on them at all. In fact, they were more or less the same as his school robes, except they were bottle green instead of black. And then I wrote this because I love this so much. So Mrs. Weasley got the color because she thought they would bring out the color of his eyes. And I said, that is very freaking sweet.
So cute.
Super thoughtful.
And that's something because he wears black in the movie. Yeah.
Super something a mom would do.
Yes.
yeah.
And this is why I wear a lot of blue, because it brings out the color of my eyes. So then Ron asks out loud why he couldn't have some like Harry's. His are all right, but Mrs. Weasley had to get them secondhand and there wasn't much choice for her. And so Ron swears to never wear them. Never. And Mrs. Weasley responds, fine, go naked. And Harry, make sure you get a picture of him. Goodness knows I could do with a laugh. I
love that.
That is something a mom would
I
say.
love
My
that.
mother would say that to me.
Oh yeah, same.
My question is, did she go shopping like super late? Because I wonder if she
This
went like right when they got the letters and knew that or even before, because she had inside info. Like, I wonder what the selection would have been like. I wonder if there was good stuff there, and then she just went really late.
I don't know. That's a
But
good
like,
question.
didn't they just get the letters when Harry got to the Weasleys?
Yeah, they kind of did get them late.
Like, I think you always get your letter late. It seems like right around his birthday, like a month before. But yes, this is true. She had insider information where she would have known, but maybe, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
So she leaves and Ron goes to help Pig get a treat unstuck from his beak. And he asks kind of out loud, not really wanting an answer, saying, why is everything he owns rubbish?
It's a really big thing with him.
Especially
yes. And like, because when he asks out loud why he couldn't have some like Harry's because his are all right, and like poor Molly probably doesn't really want to say it. Like, Ron knows and Harry knows.
Straight up, we don't have the money to be buying you these things.
And like Harry's like a kind of like embarrassed, like he looks away. He doesn't want to be a part of that conversation.
Yeah.
And he's got all this money. He's like, he would gladly share. He's like, I'd gladly cut it all down in half and give it to them, but they wouldn't be the people that would take it.
Right.
But like, I can personally relate to Ron with these things. Like, growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, and I remember that biggest tomboy in the whole world, so I wanted everything that was Nike. And when I got I remember this, my first Nike shirt, some kid in class, I think I was in like 4th grade, was being a jerk and got like this red, it was like the flavored applesauce, got it on my white Nike shirt. And it was so important to me. I literally jumped off steps outside, chased him down. I tackled him. And I remember that I punched him twice.
Ooh.
And because I had nice things, but I had a lot of hand-me-down things. I have a lot of older cousins. But I remember that shirt was so important to me because I wanted it so much, because I wanted to fit in so bad. And that's how important it was to me. So I can totally relate to Ron on this. But I remember I beat the crap out of that kid.
Yeah. Like, I feel bad. And again, like we've said, this is creeping into a big plot point with this book specifically. And like, even we see later on, and that's something like, I know a lot of people don't like Ron, but there's a lot of things that I love about him. And this is like showing his faults, that he is human and like he's going to grow out of it.
Yeah.
Where like they're both like products of their environment. And as much as Harry has all of this money, like he's still not saying that like to have money makes you a horrible person. It doesn't. But you know,
It makes you sometimes not necessarily, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess appreciate the little things.
well, and I think with Harry though, what's good, he didn't know until he was 11 that he had money.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think that's something that puts him on the same level with Ron, but Ron doesn't see it that way because Ron has only ever known him as someone that had money.
Right. That's why they don't.
And Harry's...
They miss each other.
Well, miscommunication.
And with the famous stuff.
Yes. Well, and again, I think with Ron, it's because he's the 6th boy out of them, and then he's got his sister. So
And
like,
seemingly nothing is special about him in his eyes. Mm-hmm. You know, he lists all the things why the others are better than him.
yeah,
But like,
yeah. He has to see it for himself.
dude, you help save the Wizarding World.
Well,
Like,
and
come on.
honestly, I also think that's something that people forget about him is that yes, he
was
is
part of
like
it.
like each person in the trio specifically are great, but they all have faults, and he's not stupid. Like he's not just like the sidekick. Like he is smart. Like, and I forget that Harry's smart because all you ever see from like the movies, because they're so I'm so
Yeah.
inundated by them.
So true.
Is that like Hermione's the smart one? Well, they all have their bits and pieces. They all
Right. Harry
are
and Ron
stronger
They're
together.
not dumb. You know what I mean?
not by any means.
Yeah, and I mean a lot of the stuff that people like don't like about Harry or Ron. Like I think about this because a lot of people don't like him and Hermione together, and it reminds me of James and Lily because they're like, he says all these things about her and he does this to her, and he's just well, first of all, they're kids. A, B, he's gonna grow up. People grow out of the things. I'm not the same person I was in like high school.
Oh, yeah.
And Ron's gonna like, he's changed. Hermione's changed. Harry's changed.
Think about if you were to go back like to high school and talk to someone, they probably have this perception of you, but you're like, no, you don't know me anymore. Mm-hmm. Like you knew me then, yeah, that was me, but like now,
Oh God,
You
I'm
don't.
100% different.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
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 It's just life. All right.
Going off
funny,
on a
man.
huge tangent. I just love Ron a lot. And honestly, like out of the three of them, that's who I relate to the most is Ron. So I just love him.
I love him too.
Remember when you did that once?
Is that your lightning bolt sound? Because it sounded like kind of like a whip.
It almost sounded like a
You know, like
ka-chow.
from
Wow,
Friends.
pow, whap.
Pow. It's like,
Whoopah. Whoopah. Well, it's a lightning bolt round if you haven't guessed that yet.
Ka-chow. Ka-chow.
Ooh, I'm
I don't
burned.
know. I asked some questions already. Leave it to the patrons.
So I have found them. What would your Pottermore file list as your skills?
Excellent cat snuggler. Pizza aficionado.
One more.
Oh, one more.
3.
Podcaster.
Podcaster.
Pass.
Gosh.
Come back to
I don't
me.
know. I would say napping, but I'm not a good sleeper, so that wouldn't be it. Probably cooking, puns, and Gosh, what's another thing I'm...
Florence.
And her alter ego.
Is it my hobby? What did they ask?
Your skills.
Skills. Speaking in tongues.
Oh my god.
Oh, God.
You got to put cooking on yours, too.
Probably cooking, podcasting, and
Graphic design.
yeah, but that's like boring. That makes me sound really boring. Doesn't
Well,
it?
if the shoe
fits.
I know.
Wow, Sarah, get out of my
Theme
hut.
park aficionado.
That's, yes, accurate. Momming, wifing, teaching the young minds of American children. Scary thought. Handwriting.
Oh my God.
I like my handwriting.
Your handwriting is beautiful.
my print.
Mine is crud.
You are more artistic than you probably think you are.
Mundungus gets banned from a place. Have you ever been banned from somewhere? Where is it? And why were you banned?
No, I am goody two shoes to the
I'm-
extreme.
Welcomed everywhere.
I feel like I might have, but I
Feel like
don't remember.
You should have been banned from that Chipotle after falling down in their entryway.
No, they should have given me a free
You
burrito.
should have filed a lawsuit.
You probably would have won.
Man.
Well, they didn't
think
have
I've
a
been
floors
banned
wet
from
sign,
anywhere.
so
I don't think I feel, honestly, I feel like I have been, but I don't
Really?
remember.
I was banned from a Facebook group, a Disney Facebook group. These people were psycho. That's all I'll say.
were they or were you?
No, I was not.
No, I've never been banned from anything.
My cousin once was thrown out of a biker bar. Like, literally thrown out. And I was like, Emily, what did you do?
Oh, you drop her name. She doesn't listen to this podcast.
No, she doesn't know who Harry Potter is.
Neither do we. Oh, wait, yeah, we do.
He's a wizard. But what's a wizard?
We don't know.
All right, we have another one.
Okay.
Were you an entrepreneurial child? What did you that was in any way similar to Fred and George?
Bracelets.
Bracelets. Oh,
Those
do you want to know what
string
I made?
bracelets, those
I
braid
made those
bracelets.
geckos out of beads.
The melty ones?
No, you like strung them.
I remember
Yes,
that.
yes.
And I made geckos and I made turtles. Oh my god, I was all about it.
I
Me and
made
my mom did
turtles.
I didn't.
I like turtles.
it. I like turtles.
We didn't get a lot of like extra crafty stuff because we didn't have money to like buy all that. My mom's like, you're not bringing that into the house. So no.
My mom was super crafty, so she was all
Ooh,
about
that's
it.
a lie. Well, I mean, not really entrepreneurial, but we used to. This is so embarrassing. Put concerts on in our driveway. We were called the Junior Spice Girls. I was Scary
one?
Spice.
All right.
Because
of your
I had
hair.
curly hair, even though I should have been baby because I was the youngest.
I had to sell cookie dough for cheerleading. Does that count?
I had to sell candy bars for my school.
There you go.
Me and my cousins did this thing where we pulled bark off of a tree and then sharpened them on the sidewalk into pencils and tried to sell them to people.
I didn't try to sell them, but I made bows and arrows that way and tried to shoot a squirrel.
Oh,
It didn't work.
right. Beating people up, shooting squirrels.
Welcome to my Billy life, guys. If you don't know, I am from the country.
I've been there. She is indeed from the country.
Have you ever accidentally drastically over or underdressed for an event?
Yes.
I'm sure I have.
I typically,
I would say I underdressed for everything.
Yes.
Leggings.
I was gonna say I typically overdress for a lot of things, but you
do.
know what?
You look good.
I'm very comfortable in a dress, and I don't really care if I look better than you. Sorry, not sorry.
Slytherin. That's Slytherin.
No, you
stuff.
gotta be the best dressed. Dress for success. Also,
dress
my mom.
for the job you want, not the job you have.
Correct.
Thank you, Cheryl.
I've also feel like I've overdressed for interviews before, but I just have a nice a suit dress on kind of thing, and then nice cute heels, and
I got my
walk in and I'm
job
like,
with a suit, I don't know. I was sweating. It was not okay. I should not have worn it.
But yes, I typically am overdressed, but
Yeah,
I'm not uncomfortably overdressed because I typically know that I'm going to be, and I don't care.
Let's just say this. If it's not stretchy pants, I'm not going.
I 9 times out of 10 probably underdress, but it's whatever. I'm comfy.
I'm always comfortable.
If I'm not comfortable, I'm not having a good time. And if I'm not having a good time, I'm not going to go.
I'm more comfortable like in a dress anyways because it's just like you don't have to have
No
pants
pants.
on.
No pants. Yeah, so I'll wear a dress.
Gotta have pants.
Say that Ron's room's covered in Chudley Cannon stuff. If someone went into your childhood bedroom, what would they describe it as being covered in?
Good Charlotte posters.
Your printed out pictures.
I printed out pictures of Rupert Grant.
My bedroom's never had a theme. It was just like shelves of, I don't want to be rude, but trophies. What, for shooting squirrels?
I will say this.
Shooting squirrels, wrestling, not gators. But softball and wrestling for real. Wrestling.
The house that I moved into when I was a senior, and I know that this is technically like not when I was a child, but it's roughly the same. I literally had a wall. I call it the wall of hotness. And it was a bunch of like guy celebrities that I thought were hot, and it was just pictures
Seriously?
of them. Yes.
I never had any of that. What did you have?
All good Charlotte. Completely every single inch.
It's
of my
accurate.
room. I have pictures somewhere. I mean, just completely
Yeah,
covered.
no.
Every
Yeah.
little tiny magazine clipping, minuscule. It was
Sarah
up
saw
there.
my Rupert Grint shrine.
I mean, he
I
was
saw
definitely
part of
on.
it.
He was on my wall of hotness.
Yeah, I didn't have any of that.
Wall of hotness.
I mean, like,
I was too busy winning.
My mom got so mad at me because I used all of the ink in like a night because I printed out pictures of Rupert.
I would kill you.
I will also say, like, when I was growing up, I had a lot of, like, posters that were from, like, J14 and,
Yes.
Teen Vogue or whatever and all the
Teen
teeny
Vogue.
bopper magazines.
yeah?
So
Teen
they
Beat.
were, like, yeah.
I got
So they were, like, the musical ones, like, Spice Girls were up there. NSYNC for sure because I was obsessed with them. Like, those kinds of things I also had.
I got mad because there was a really cool poster in one of those, and it had Benji and Joel on one side, and the other side it had Hillary Duff. And I was so upset.
She was so mad. She hated Hillary Duff.
Why?
Because Hillary Duff was in a relationship with Joel Madden, and she wanted to be in a relationship with Joel Madden.
He's on the wall of hotness for sure.
Well, it didn't work out
saying.
between them, so.
It's true.
Is there still a chance?
No, because Joel
He's
Madden's married.
I'm
for a
married.
very long time.
You two are married.
too am married.
He also has 2 kids.
It's okay. I made out
Nicole
better in
Richie.
this situation.
Did you?
One more question.
Yep.
What magical method would you prefer to get your post? Apparating mailman? Owl?
Pigeon.
Is that
Oh, I
it?
thought you were going for a third. I was waiting.
He said, etc.
Owl.
Owl,
Sure.
because
I
they're
think owl.
birds.
It's classic.
I like
Well,
birds.
and I don't want like the mailman
I like birds.
Like, what if he
Birds.
has a cold one day and he'll get splinched trying to do his job?
Listen,
Aw.
what if I'm in a robe or something else, and boom, he's at the door, windows open. I don't know what's going on. I don't want you there. I want to see you walking up. And birds don't care if you're naked, so it is what it is.
My gosh.
If you're stalkers.
Starkers, yeah. Just saying.
Yep.
All right.
I have a question. What color dress robes would you want?
Black. I like wearing black.
I'd probably go black.
But if I was
I like the
if I was
dark green.
jazzing it up, maybe like a dark purple,
Purple.
like darker than this.
Swish robes.
The dark Swish robes.
Interesting.
I think like a dark green. Bottle green. I would
was a-
match Harry.
There was a question I wanted to ask and I forget what it is
That's sad.
from earlier.
Alright.
But do you wonder like why they didn't just like alter Ron's robes? Like, couldn't they have done that? Couldn't Mrs. Weasley have done that?
Lexi in the chat actually asked that, and I was going. My
she
only
didn't have
argument
time.
would maybe be like maybe they were magically created and then couldn't be magically altered.
Yeah, but he doesn't he sever the things later on? So like,
Yeah.
couldn't she
Somebody,
have altered them a little
Maybe
bit?
it's like super hard to do.
Somebody said
know.
that it might be intricate magic and you might have to like know how to sew, which like maybe Molly does. I don't know why she wouldn't.
I mean, she
Well,
knows how
maybe
to
she
knit.
only knows how to like stitch up stuff. Maybe she
Yeah,
doesn't
not
know how to like
necessarily.
create an outfit. You know,
Right.
it's very different.
But like, I feel like you'd be able to like change the color, like in Sleeping. Is it Sleeping Beauty when they're changing it?
Make it pink.
I
Make it
love that
blue.
section. That
Make it pink.
section.
Make it blue.
All the way till the end. It's changing.
Yeah.
All right, so
Fan story. All right, this one comes from Emma Fontenot.
Thank you for phonetically spelling your last name.
Super appreciated.
Otherwise, we would have said Fontenot.
I said that in my head, even though I knew it wasn't that. Fontenot. Hello, I am a big fan of your podcast. My name is Emma, and I am 12 years old. I might be one of your youngest listeners. I was born in 2006.
Oh my God, I graduated high school in that year.
Turned 16.
That
Emma.
hurts me, Emma. But I love you.
Yes. Whew. So I obviously wasn't around when the Harry Potter books first came out, but I started reading the series when I was in first grade.
Yeah.
I have been a voracious reader my entire life. Harry Potter may not have actually grown up with me as he might have with you, but I still feel that he did. As I reread the series every year, I start to notice more and understand more of the metaphors behind JK's words. I sometimes don't feel connected with the Potter community because of my age. I feel that some groups don't really think I understand Harry Potter, even when I'm a big fan. I think that Swish and Flick has been so inclusive with everybody, and it doesn't really matter that I'm only 12. I can discuss Harry Potter as well as anybody.
Yeah, you can.
Absolutely
Yes,
true.
you can.
We cannot stress that enough. I've said it a million times. I don't care if you just like the movies. I don't care if you've never seen a movie or read a book and you like Harry Potter. That's fine. I don't care if you're
in.
What age you are. You're in. Back to the story.
But you should read them and watch them.
Get
and
out
just
of here,
take it all in. I'm just saying, take everything
Just so you
in.
can just absorb it all. So I'm a Ravenclaw. My Patronus is a black swan.
Sweet.
My wand is Willow Wood Dragon Heartstring Core, 11.5 inches, hard flexibility. I've reread the books more times than I can count. And then she lists her favorites. Book, Half-Blood Prince. Movie, Goblet of Fire. Character, Luna Lovegood.
She's a good one.
Anyways, I just think you are all amazing people. And hey, Meg moved something.
I'm sorry.
I just think you're all amazing people. I love how you make me laugh all the time. And I just want to tell you to continue being awesome. Peace, Emma.
Dude.
Emma, you're awesome.
That's cute.
I like you a lot.
Thank you for writing in. You are probably among the youngest. Yeah. There's a couple. We get some every now and then, and we love it because it's just proof that Harry's not going anywhere.
I want to know if your friends are as into Potter as you are. Like, is that age group into it? Because I know a lot of the kids that are at the school I teach at least fourth grade and up, are really into it right now. They're in chamber, and they're like super into it. So I just wonder,
My cousin, Grace and Annie, and probably Nora read them. And I don't, Annie might be 9.
Okay,
I cool. could be lying. I don't know how old she is. Nora might be 9. But they're like, that's what I'm saying. Like Grace, I think, is a freshman or going to be a freshman, which makes me feel so old.
Yeah, you're super old.
But they've been reading them for years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love that little younger kids read them.
Pull that
and
younger
don't
generation
feel bad.
in.
No, never. And
This
if anybody, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
If anybody's going to make you feel that you're not a part of the community, they're not a part of the community because Harry Potter's all about inclusivity. So
Yes.
is that a word?
And that's young.
It is now.
Young,
Jinx, you owe me a
old,
Coke.
whomever. Like you can be 100 years old and pick up the first book for the first time ever, and hope you'll love it.
True that.
100.
You could be a year old and your parents are reading it to you, and you're gonna learn to love it.
Alana's eating it, so.
That's how you gain knowledge. You eat it.
All
right.
Switch again. Oh, Coke mine.
Whoa, canceled out. Nobody gets a Coke.
That's a sad day.
Breaking news.
Make sure that you go and follow us on Facebook. We are Swish and Flick Podcast on Facebook, Swish Flick Cast on Twitter and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel.
The tube of you. Why does no one say that anymore? I miss it.
You just said it, so.
Also, you can join us on Patreon for exclusive access to the Felix Files, access to our Discord channel while we record the episodes, and more. So you can head on over to patreon.com/swishflickcast and choose your support level. Thank you to all of our current patrons. We love you and appreciate you. Lastly, check out our website, swishflickcast.com. You can get all the info on Swish and Flick compiled there into one place, along with all of our merchandise.
And more.
And more.
All right, so
Plug yourself.
Meg and I have another podcast called Grown Up Kids. We're watching Disney movies chronologically and, talking about them. And it's a good time.
It's fun. We also have a YouTube channel, Main Street 9 3/4, which is where our UK Extravaganza vlogs are going, so you can check that out and subscribe.
How many are on there?
I think we have 5.
Thought you were gonna say no.
No, definitely not. But I am definitely due to put one out this weekend.
We'll have fun with that.
Yep.
All right. Do you want me to go?
Yeah, I always like to go last. Save the best for last, and that's me.
I think the best is usually second.
Lies.
Okay. This is getting weird. I'm teaching. First graders. No.
I mean, yes, you are.
Well, yeah. I had a cold day recently.
That
was
is
cool.
always fun.
I think I might get one next week as well.
Oh, for sure.
Knock on wood,
It's supposed to
hopefully.
be really cold.
Yeah, I don't need my little babies
Maybe it'll be
walking
really
in that.
cold on Friday, and then you won't even have to worry about anything.
All right. Raising little Alana. She says "dada" now,
She's so cute.
and she likes to whisper it. So she's like "da da 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 da."
I was saying it to her today, and she was cracking up, like smiling. I was like, "Dad, dad, 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 dad," and she just would like get this big smile on her face.
I'm trying to get her to say "mama," but I don't think that's happening soon. It's harder to say. What else does she do? She's got 2 bottom teeth. She's like a freaking velociraptor.
So cute.
Gosh. I don't know. She's literally the coolest.
Yeah.
Like, she's so much fun to hang out with. Marty's as hot as ever.
Oh my god.
Is he on the wall of hotness?
No, he would not be on the wall of hotness.
He is, for sure, on my wall of hotness.
Yeah, he was not on mine.
I love that Matty. I don't know. Fosbear's got an ear infection, but he's okay. He's been doing a good boy job taking medicine. I don't know. We're just living life, you guys. Trying to keep my floors swept and my kitchen clean, and I am failing. So Sarah did my dishes today because she's a sweet thing. That's
We're
about
also
it.
getting ready for New York.
Yes, New
Yeah.
York.
'Cause when this comes
NYC.
out, it'll only be a couple weeks until we're there.
I've never been to NYC, and I get to see Cursed Child. Mm-hmm. Hashtag
Keep
canon
the
or not.
secrets.
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I think that's so dumb.
I'm joking.
No, like keep the secrets. The whole play is out. You can read them.
Some people might not
It's
have
not
spoilers.
as good as seeing it.
I didn't see any Jurassic World 2 spoilers until it came out on DVD.
Yeah, but that's not. It's been out for years. That wasn't out for years. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
Just my own opinion. Are you done? I didn't want to sound super mean. Are you done now?
Tell me your exciting life.
I don't have an exciting life, but I figured I'll tell you what book I'm reading right now, although it's morbid, literally. So it's called Smoke It's in Your Eyes. It says, and other lessons from the crematory. It's by Caitlin Doty. She runs a funeral home in, I think, LA.
Is that YouTuber person?
It is. So she wrote a book. Why are you like rolling your eyes over there?
Because you're such a creep.
Well, I saw it was on Prime Reading and it was free for me to read.
No, I actually enjoy stuff. It's weird. Why do people like that stuff? I don't know why I do.
well,
Curiosity.
I mean,
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I'll watch the most terrible documentaries, but give me like a show like This Is Us, and I hands down won't watch it because it'll make me cry.
Yeah.
but the other stuff doesn't. I'm messed up.
but
This Is Us is good.
what I like about Caitlin Doty is she takes a lot of like the shame and everything away from like it just from dying and like death and all of that stuff, and
You need people like her.
it's just like everyone's gonna die, and she treats it with such dignity and respect to like the not only like the person and the family but like the spirit of them. I don't know. I love her YouTube videos. And yes, it is morbid. Obviously, she is a mortician, and she talks about how like her first job in that field and her own experiences with people around her dying and stuff. It's just so far it's a very good read. Don't read it if you don't like morbid things, but so far I'm really enjoying it. And I did ask a while ago, like for people to tell me like a book that changed their lives. So I think I might start reading some of those I'd read, like To Kill a Mockingbird. I loved that book. So there were a couple on there that I've read, and there's a couple more that I'm going to read.
I like that. That's cool.
I suggested Harry Potter to you.
But yeah, I want to get back into reading other books besides Harry Potter. So I didn't read too much last year, and I want to change that. So far, so good. I'm really enjoying this book. So yeah.
My mom just bought me the Michelle Obama book.
Oh, cool.
Becoming.
Becoming, yeah.
I
So I'm
know.
going to read that soon.
I bought that book by Joanna Gaines.
Oh, yeah. I like her.
Homebody.
Homebody.
Yeah.
I have not yet cracked it, but I shall soon.
Yeah.
Katie, what are you going to... Oh, my mom gave you Boy Erased.
I want
That's
to read
what
that.
she wants to read
God.
next.
I also picked
My
up,
mom couldn't finish it. She said it was very
I was
heartbreaking.
going to say it's very heavy
Yeah.
stuff.
But
One sentence. Tell me the gist.
trans? No,
Just
just
gay.
gay. A gay boy, his family doesn't accept him and makes him go to a
Pray the
It's a
Gay
true
Away.
pray the
Story,
gay
isn't
away
it?
camp.
See, I would do a book of the month club, but that would be like a waste of money for me. Just because I don't know if I'd read them all.
That's true.
And that's another thing I want to do. I have a bunch of books at my house that like I haven't read yet that I want to read. I actually have a bunch of
I
Star
have
Wars books. I
so
haven't
many
read.
books at my house I haven't read.
I have to read the Leia book. Whoops. Do you have that?
I might.
Copy?
No, I don't have your copy. I know that.
Also, my guilty pleasure book series is the Shopaholic series by
Oh,
Sophie
it's so
Kinsella.
good. It's so
And
good.
but I just love her as an author. She has another book coming out this year. Not about Shopaholic.
Yeah.
But
That's
she
cool.
also wrote Can You Keep a Secret? Love that
Oh,
book.
that's
Oh
a
my
good
god.
book.
Two can keep a secret if one of them is dead. But anyways, that's my goal is to read some more books this year. That's a thing from Pretty Little Liars.
It is.
I know, but I was like, that's not what the story's about.
Two can keep a secret if one of them is dead.
Okay.
I
So-
can't use this.
Glad to get that straight. That concludes this week's episode. Thank you so much for listening, and don't let the muggles get you down.
Amazing! Just my voice!
Why are you so obsessed with me?
And like Fazzy is like
True.
the poochiest of pooches.
He's a quality piece. It's like the dentist on your magic clock.
Augustus Gloop. Augustus Gloop. Called Dinner Date. And I want to be on it so bad.
Like
In
guaranteed, I don't-
guys' grocery games, they have to like make a dish and serve
Yeah.
it to the judges. So
3
like
rounds. Call yourself a Ravenclaw.
I don't.
Dang, that's cool.
I call myself a Sarah O'Malley.
Yellow Mo.
Yellow Harris.
I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles to fall down.
Next
All right.
to you. Ba-da-da-da.
Da-da-da,
Da-da-da-da.
da-da-da.
Da-dum-da-dum-da-dum-da-da-da-da.
I'm so sorry.